Hello and welcome to my channel. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. It's great to have you here. In today's video, I want to talk about 10 luxury designer items that are still popular in 2024, but I just don't think they're worth the money anymore. And guess what? I have some of these luxury designer items myself, but I would not spend my money on these items right now in 2024. So if you have some of these items as well, this video is not a comment on your style. In fact, I think from a savvy perspective, it makes sense to continue using these items because the money is already spent. But if I were to make a purchasing decision on these items right now in 2024, I would save my money and spend it on something else. And by the way, in this video, I'm also going to offer some alternatives to some of these popular luxury designer items, and I'm going to link all of the alternatives that I mentioned in the description box down below. Anyway, if you're interested to see 10 items that I think we should avoid buying in 2024, let's go. All right, item number one, starting off strong with a Cartier Love bracelet. I mean, do I actually even have to say anything else? I feel like they have been so overdone over the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years. It almost seems like everyone out there actually has a Cartier Love bracelet. And because the design itself is so simplistic, I actually do not think that at this stage they offer any extra punch for the money that you would spend on a Cartier Life bracelet. Now, I think having a nice stack could be really fun and it could be a great addition to your style, but I would not actually purchase a Cartier Love bracelet for a stack in 2024. I think right now there are so many different alternatives. You know, something that comes to mind is maybe Tiffany's tea collection. I'm going to put some pictures out here. I also really like Chopard actually because it is less overdone than, for example, Tiffany and Cartier. I think the prices are also better in Chopard, and I'm going to put some pictures out here of Chopard's Ice Cube collection, which I think is very understated but very interesting looking. It is a designer, luxury designer item, but not something that you see literally everybody wear. I'm also a big fan of Bulgari actually and their Serpentine collection, so I'm also going to include a couple of pictures here. I think these bracelets are just so much more interesting. Anyway, I feel like if you look out there, there are just so many more alternatives to Cartier Love bracelets that at this stage in 2024, a Love bracelet is simply not worth it. Plus, Cartier actually stopped authenticating Love bracelets, which just kind of tells me that there are probably so many fakes out there, and some of them perhaps are of really high quality. So I wouldn't necessarily trust buying a Love bracelet on a pre-loved market either. So I just don't think that this item is really worth the money in 2024. By the way, my name is Lisa and I'm your guide to savvy luxury shopping no matter where in the world you are. Subscribe to my channel to learn more about strategic luxury shopping with the emphasis on quality and timelessness of your items. All right, moving on, item number two, that would be Louis Vuitton Neverfull. Look, I feel like by now these bags should be so much less popular, but this is just not the case. I went to a shopping mall over the weekend, and within a span of like 5 to 7 minutes, I saw at least two women with Louis Vuitton Neverfull bags. And when I see those bags, the first thought that actually comes to my mind is, are they fake? Because I feel like LV monogram has been really overdone. There are so many fakes out there. And if I see one of these items just from a distance, for some reason, I tend to think that they must be fake. And it's probably not true, but this is just kind of a bit of a prejudice that I have. I do not know why. But Louis Vuitton Neverfull has really gone up in price over the last, let's say, decade or so. And for this type of money, right now, you can actually get like a full leather designer tote bag. I'm going to put a couple of pictures from Saint Laurent right here that I think makes really understated, wonderful, big leather tote bags or shopper bags. And I think a leather bag would always just work so much better with almost any outfit because to me, leather always looks more refined and more expensive than a monogram. So I would not spend my money on a Louis Vuitton Neverfull bag in 2024, and I would instead put that money towards purchasing a leather tote bag. By the way, I seem to remember that Louis Vuitton came out with new type of Neverfull bags that are actually reversible. Let me know in the comments down below. Maybe you have one of those bags. I know this is a new and an interesting twist, but I would always stand by the fact that a full leather tote is just such a much better investment than a monogram tote. So 2024, I would not be purchasing a Louis Vuitton Neverfull. All right, item number 3 would be Bottega Veneta Mini Jodie bag. Now, I actually like Bottega Veneta as a brand, especially when it comes to their bags. And I think generally speaking, their bags actually have a lot of longevity. And it has to do with two things, maybe three things. So it's the quality of the leather, it is the absence of like a visible logo, and its quality of craftsmanship. So for many of Bottega Veneta styles, even if they become overdone, I still think that they are a worthwhile purchase because they're just incredibly well made bags. But when it comes to the mini Jodie bag, I just think it doesn't really stand up to that kind of level that Bottega Veneta has. And it really goes with two things. First of all, I find the mini Jodie bag to really be quite uncomfortable to use. So I've never owned one, but I saw enough reviews and videos online to understand that the zipper is actually very difficult to manipulate. And secondly, the bag is so small, it only has a top handle that there is basically only one way that you could actually wear that bag. So it also makes it less comfortable to use. And because of this, I actually think that such an uncomfortable bag is really not a good investment in 2024 when there are so many different alternatives. I actually like teen Jodie bag and small Jodie bag. I tried them on recently when I was shopping in the summer, and even though I found them to be a little bit bulky, they just feel like really nice bags that you could actually use in a couple of different ways. And obviously, there is no issue getting in and out of them. So I think Bottega Veneta has a lot of great bag alternatives, but the mini Jodie bag, it was just something that everybody liked to take a picture with, 3, 4 years ago, and now it's so much less popular. But not only is it that it is less popular, it is also not very functional. And for this reason, I wouldn't buy something like this in 2024. All right, the next item I actually have, and these are these MAC double bow pumps. So my point here is similar to what I said about the mini Jodie bag. These shoes were great, they're fun to look at, and when I first bought them, and I actually bought them on sale, they were still trending, and so it was fun to take a picture or two and show them off. But these shoes, at least to me, are so incredibly impractical. To me, they're very painful. I can barely walk in them. So usually when I wear them, I basically get in a car, go to dinner, then get back in a car and get home. And I feel that when the item is uncomfortable, then the item doesn't have actually as much longevity as maybe a similar style that is more comfortable and user friendly. So because they're so uncomfortable, I would not actually spend my money on these shoes in 2024. And if you are into this type of style, something sparkly and statementy, I think there are many alternatives out there that are actually much more comfortable and therefore have more longevity with them. So one alternative I would mention would be these Hangisi pumps from Manolo Blahnik. Now, I also feel that they have been overdone. It seems pretty much everybody has a pair, but because they're comfortable, and for me, they're just kind of much easier to walk in, and they still have quite a bit of a statement with them, I think these shoes inherently are just much more timeless and have more longevity. So instead of buying the MAC shoes in 2024, I would actually just buy another pair of Manolo Blahnik Hangisi pumps. And by the way, I actually recently featured these pumps in one of my videos where I talk about 5 of the most comfortable designer shoes that I have. I'm going to link that video up here. But once again, in 2024, I would actually continue buying Manolo Blahnik Hangisi shoes, but I would step away from MAC double bow pumps. All right, item number 5 I want to talk about are Valentino Rockstud bags. And actually, when it comes to Valentino, I would stay away from buying any Valentino bags at all. I think at the moment, Valentino has at least two different logos going on and also the Rockstuds. So I think there's just a lot happening in that design house when it comes to shoes and handbags. And chances are that if you invest in a Valentino bag, it might look quite outdated in just a couple of years. And I think this is exactly the story with the Rockstuds. I mean, to me, anything that has Valentino Rockstuds on it just looks like it belongs in an Instagram account that was started, I don't know, 10 to 15 years ago. And now those bags look a little simplistic and a little out of style. To me, at least, they just have no appeal whatsoever. And I think, when it comes to handbags, there are just so many great alternatives. And if you're actually into your rock studs or studs on the bag, I'm going to show a couple of pictures of some bags that are available from Christian Louboutin. Now, I know that brand is more known for shoes, obviously, as opposed to for bags, but I think there are some interesting bag designs from Christian Louboutin that are not overdone, so that's always a plus in my book, that look very interesting and therefore could be a good investment, especially if you are into the spikes and studs and things like this. So I would much rather invest in a Christian Louboutin bag as opposed to Valentino Rockstud bag. All right, item number 6 are gigantic platform pumps. So let me show you two pictures and kind of try to explain what I really mean here. So picture number 1, right here, we have this Versace Medusa Avitis pumps. I'm sure you're really well familiar with them from a couple of years ago. And the picture right here, I'm gonna put a picture of Saint Laurent tribute or classic tribute sandals. I think you can see the difference. I think this type of sandals are actually still fine because there is just something so classic about them. And even when platforms are not trending, a pair of sandals like this would always be something that you could wear. However, when I look at these Versace pumps, there's just too much, like too much of everything. The toe is too square, the platform is too high, the heel is too high. So these type of pumps become much less appealing when they stop trending. So in 2024, I would not invest my money in huge platform shoes and pumps and sandals like these Versace ones. But if it is part of my style, I would continue buying just, let's say, normal, classic looking platform pumps and sandals from maybe brands like Saint Laurent. So item 6 on my list, I would not be investing money into huge platforms in 2024. All right, item number 7, I actually have, once again, this is the Hermès Signature H buckle belt. So I wouldn't spend my money on this buckle in 2024. I actually filmed a separate video recently where I talk about items from Hermès that are no longer worth buying in 2024. I'm gonna link that video up here. But in this video, I just really wanted to go ahead and include this belt. It seems to me like a Neverfull tote bag, maybe combined with this belt, combined with I don't know, a pair of Louboutin shoes, and I'm going to talk about them in a little bit. I don't know, it's kind of like that stereotypical look that I still often see out there. And therefore, this belt just kind of feels like something that has been very overdone, something that everybody actually has, and therefore it just lost the interest. And once again, Hermes just has so many wonderful alternatives. And if you're really into this letter H and you still want to feature it in your wardrobe, in your style, I think even for this age, there are so many interesting alternatives. So I'm going to put a couple of pictures, but there is this Morse H buckle. Again, you get the H, but it just looks a little different. And then there is this HDN buckle as well, which kind of has this cursive H, and I think it adds an interesting twist to this design element. So obviously, I would still buy an Hermes belt in 2024, but I would definitely stay away from this signature H buckle. Okay, moving on, we have Christian Louboutin Socade pumps. I'm actually not sure whether these ones are really Socades or something that is quite similar, but in any case, you get what I'm saying. These are basically high heel pumps from Christian Louboutin with a red sole. Now, I feel like maybe 10 to 15 years ago, red sole was just really cool, and that's what everybody was showing off. Nowadays, it's really so common that it just feels like, yeah, okay, whatever. And the second point is that these are similar to my MAC and MAC shoes, are just so incredibly uncomfortable. And to me, if I have a designer item that is not user-friendly, that doesn't have a great level of functionality, it's really not worth the money in 2024. So I would not actually buy these shoes in 2024. And you see, I barely worn this. I mean, I do have a sole protector right here, but even with that, you can see I barely touched these shoes at all because they are just so incredibly painful. So an alternative, I mean, I do not know, basically any pair of pumps that is actually functional and nice looking, but also comfortable. So maybe I would go for a pair of Gianvito Rossi pumps. They also come at a slightly better price point, I think, and there are so many different options and styles. I don't actually have a pair, but I hear people say that they are extremely comfortable for high-heeled shoes. So again, just find something that you could actually wear, that you can be comfortable in, but I wouldn't spend my money on a pair of high-heel Christian Louboutin pumps in 2024. By the way, I also wanted to mention that I do have a number of other Christian Louboutin shoes, for example, boots and flats and sandals, and I think those are actually fine because to me, they're actually wearable, they're fairly comfortable, and I do like having the red sole, right? But when it comes to something that is so excruciatingly painful, I am no longer making this mistake in 2024. All right, item number 9, I want to talk about Gucci Marmont bags. And probably we should add the belt in here as well. Once again, I'm actually surprised that Gucci still sells those. When I look at them, I think about fashion Instagram profiles and blogs from like 15 years ago. So it's very nostalgic, but to me, those bags really do not look modern. And I'm surprised Gucci still makes those bags, even though, for about a year now, they have had a new creative director. I just think there are much better alternatives from Gucci themselves. So maybe a Jackie bag. I mean, this is something that is going to have longevity with it, even if that bag is actually not trending. Or if you are into your flap bags, even from Gucci, I would rather go for a Dionysus bag, just because it doesn't have that like really annoying GG logo. Or I would just pick a flap bag from a different brand. So when it comes to a flap bag, for me, an obvious option is actually a Fendi baguette. So I have a couple of these and I find them very practical, very user-friendly, fun bags to have. Look, there is a Fendi banana that I purchased recently. I'm going to include an unboxing video right here. But look, I feel like you can do so much with these bags. They could kind of function, well, not in monogram, but they could kind of function as an evening bag, definitely a daytime bag. And I just prefer a Fendi baguette, which by now is really a classic, to something like a Gucci Marmont bag. And price-wise, I think they're fairly compatible as well. So I'm a big fan of a Fendi baguette, but I would not be buying a Marmont bag from Gucci in 2024. So last but not least on my list are the furry shoes. So I'm going to put a couple of pictures out here to show you what I mean. I sometimes call them the hairy shoes as well. So I thought these were not a thing anymore, but I was at the shopping mall again over the weekend and I saw at least 2 people wearing this type of loafer, hairy, furry loafer shoes. And then a couple of days ago, I was just scrolling through my Theresa, looking at what's new, and I also saw a pair from Paris, Texas. So they were basically high heel sandals with like furry, hairy strap up front. And I was like, apparently these are still a thing. And for me, the argument that I have is basically one thing, and that's hygiene and cleanliness. So when you walk into those things outside, I mean, imagine all kinds of dirt that actually gets attached to them. Imagine going to the bathroom, like anywhere. I don't think the bathroom is the cleanest place. And so if you have all of this kind of furry, hairy stuff dragging on the bottom of your shoes, all kinds of bacteria can attach themselves to those furry, hairy parts. So I wouldn't really do it. I think this is a little bit disgusting. So in my book, when it comes to these type of shoes in 2024, I wouldn't really waste my money. Instead, honestly, if you're actually looking for some kind of interest or texture in your shoes, I would suggest looking maybe at suede loafers. So I have a pair from Brunello Cucinelli. I'm gonna put maybe a couple of pictures here. I think they're great. I think they add a lot of interest to an outfit. If you're looking for another statement, again with your shoes, I would look at Maison Margiela and maybe Tabis. I know that the internet hates on Tabis as well, but if you're looking to make a statement, maybe they are a great choice. And once again, if you're also looking for texture and you're not satisfied with suede, you can look at like shearling boots or shoes, but I really would stay away from all of that furry stuff. Anyway, that's at least according to my opinion. Okay, that's it. Let me know in the comments down below, what did you think about my list? I mean, do you disagree? Are you going to be buying any of these items in 2024? And if so, let me know which items you think are still fine. And before you go, watch this video next. In this video, I talk about top Hermes items that are not worth our money in 2024. So I hope to see you in that video. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Take care and bye-bye.